programming with Shakespeare. And you're like, what? Programming with Shakespeare? What nonsense is this? Well, let me tell you. I have an audition tonight, and I'm torturing every one of my streams with me auditioning for them. It's like a minute and a half. I'm doing it right at the beginning, though, so odds are nobody's watching this right now. But if they are, well, I'll come back in 3 minutes. I am going to be doing some programming here, but I am doing all of them. If you happen to see, let me know what you think. I've been doing 3 different versions. I've been doing kind of a totally off-kilter voice. I've done a deep voice, and I've done my normal voice. It's Egeus from Midsummer's Night Dream. I've never acted in my entire life, so I have no pre-existing skills or abilities that I've developed over any kind of effort. The closest thing I've got is streaming as far as experience blathering out loud to the world. I haven't done it in front of people yet, except I do occasionally have family running around the house and they hear me doing it. So that's about it. And I'm going to do it anyway. So here it goes. Yeah. Now, ultimately, I have here, I'm getting better. I'm getting more and more of my words down, but I still also forget because I try to go longer without looking at the mic, and then sometimes, or not the mic, looking at the paper, and as a result, I sometimes screw it up. But whatever. So here we go. I'm gonna do the deep voice variation this time around. So you're getting my smooth dulcet tones this time around. Something like that. I don't know. Here we go. Full of vexation come I, with complaint against my child, my daughter Hermia. Stand forth, Demetrius. My noble lord, this man hath my consent to marry her. Stand forth, Lysander. And my gracious duke, this man hath bewitched the bosom of my child. Thou, Lysander, thou hast given her rhymes and interchanged love tokens with my child. Thou hast by moonlight at her window sung with feigning voice verses of feigning love, and stolen the impression of her fantasy, with bracelets of hair, rings, gauds, conceits, knacks, trifles, nosegays, sweetmeats, messengers of strong prevailment and unhardened youth. With cunning hast thou filched my daughter's heart, turned her obedience, which is due to me, to stubborn harshness. And my gracious duke, be it so she will not hear before you grace, consent to marry with Demetrius. I beg the ancient privilege of Athens, as she is mine, I may dispense of her, which shall be either to this gentleman or to her death. According to our law, immediately provided in that case. I really struggle with that last line. It just feels weird. I don't know. But, hey, but who am I to tell you what's right and wrong? I mean, he's Shakespeare. I don't know anything about that stuff. So, hey, Shakespeare is supposed to be the expert, right? So, anyway, there you go. You've been tortured. If you saw that, feel free to critique. And let's get some work done. Okay, so. By allowing this, by doing it first thing, most people are never going to see it. All right. Got my drink ready to go. Okay, so yesterday I gave up on Blazor. Well, okay, wrong. Let me rephrase that. I did not give up on Blazor. I gave up on one aspect of Blazor, and that is the authorized view tags, getting them to function. Now keep in mind, I actually went out to Google yesterday. I tried ChatGPT, I tried Claude, I tried Blackbox AI. They have all given me stuff to work on. Nothing worked. I could not get Blazor authorized view to work. And I'll show you what I'm speaking of. So let's go ahead and start this guy, because this is kind of like my backend API that I'm pulling all of my authentication from. And then we will go. Okay, so we'll open up this one. This is my application. This is the API, pretty simple, doesn't have much going on in it except for providing me a token and providing validation for that token should I request it. In this UCL, which is the application I'm actually working on, this is just the sample template that I've been trying to use. I'll kind of show you what my code looks like. It looks very similar to this page right here. No, it does not, because that's not the right page. The other page, the other thing is loading up, so while that loads, I think it's layout here. Yeah, here it is. That menu. See here, we got authorized view and not authorized, not authorized. That is what I'm working on, and I cannot get this authorized part to fire for anything or anything under the sun. Nothing, nothing triggers that. So I tried so much. I've spent days and days and days, and ultimately, it shouldn't be that hard to check a cookie, right? I mean, just go ask the cookie. Does the cookie exist? Yes. Is it validated? Yes. Then log them in. Just do a try catch, do a if then, whatever it takes to show the correct value. Ideally, this works because then you can have the condition of this is the authorized code, this is the not authorized code. We're good. We just do this rather than doing conditionals inside of the strings, which I did in React. React worked, but I had to put in, conditionals. It wasn't that hard, but it did it, and it was simple. And this authorized view looks like it's very nice, very clean. It gets to the point. People know exactly what's going on. This is what happens when you're authorized. This is what happens when you're not. There's no if-thens to go around. You don't have to do special conditions for multiple lines of code. It's all just kind of doing the right thing, right? Now, in theory, I could do something like just create this, pull the information from my code, and then just have the code. I set the necessary strings according to what I want it to show. So having this return URL, having a current URL, whatever I'm showing here, instead of linking to various things, href, account manage, register, I could have both of those be defined as a variable and just read those back when we go here. And I could just do that in code. So it would still be a single line string. It gets set, and then in code it does the if then these stuff. Still very simple, straightforward. I assume it would work very well. What I don't understand is I wanted to make this work. I did. But I decided to do some Google searching. Say, all right, AIs, what you're telling me is not working. I'm tired of going down the rabbit hole. Well, Claude sent me down the rabbit hole. Hey, why don't you create this thing and set that thing and do all this other stuff? And it totally broke everything. Everything just went, blew up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I spent forever. Then I had to spend a bunch of time undoing what it did to try to figure out what went wrong. And ultimately, Claude was wrong about some things, and it broke some of my code, and that's where everything went downhill. So that said, oops, I'm spilling stuff all over. I had a discussion with one of my viewers yesterday, and he's a Blazor guy, but he didn't really know the answer to what the problem was. I mean, he just knew that it was wrong. I said, well, yeah, I get that. Something's wrong. Something's not functioning correctly. And yeah, it's either me or most likely it's something you can do in code to fix it, right? Something. But remember, there's a lot of ways to do authorization. There's tokens. There's you can do auth APIs that pull the value back and you get the tokens. Sometimes you put them in cookies. Sometimes you pass them in headers. Sometimes you do other stuff, local storage, and you still got to read from them. And in doing that, certain parts have to be set, the authorized state, and just doing it either locally or through an API, over HTTP or whatever. All these things require different setups. And your program.cs can get really complicated. It can get a lot of stuff going. And if you know exactly what each thing's doing, you might be able to minimize that. But what ends up happening when you're troubleshooting like this is you try new things. You add this, you remove that, you do all this other stuff, and eventually what you get is maybe something that works, but it's not very clean because you've got pieces that you think are required but might not be. So then if you want to clean it up, you have to remove this or remove that, play with it, make sure that you've got it working, that you didn't break something. So it's a very complex thing, and the whole setup for Blazor Auth implementation, especially coming from an API, like an external API, is just giving me headaches. And again, it's really not the external API problem. It's not that. I have successfully already connected the API, got the cookie back, wrote it to a token, or got the token back, wrote it to a cookie, which, by the way, may or may not be the best way. It says using headers might be better, and I might try to change that, which isn't that big of a deal, I think. Instead of storing it in a cookie or whatever, passing it around in headers might be better once you have a valid implementation to it. So, but what I want to do is try to get it to work in my authorized state. And no, nothing I've seen. I have Googled. In fact, interestingly enough, I Googled yesterday, and that problem exists. It's widespread. There's a lot of people struggling to get authorized view working, especially with Druid bearer tokens. I say Druid, that's the JSON Web Tokens, JWT. I could say JWT bearer tokens, yes. But that's 4 syllables. Druid is 1. So, Druid bearer tokens it is. It just sounds funny, and it's fun to say. Druid. Anyway, other people have had this issue with specifically the same thing. They can't get the authorized view to work. And now I'm like, oh, some people are dead set that this is a bug, that it just doesn't function correctly in Blazor. And if that's true, then I am really wasting my time. If there's a solution for this, I imagine it works under the right circumstances, but maybe it's a problem for Druid bearer tokens, or how it's read. I just feel like, why can't I just change the state? If I know it's logged in, set the authorized state, bam. Why? It's check login, set authorized state. How do I set the authorized state? Because it seems like that should be like a one-line call, doesn't it? Authorized state equals true. Authorized state equals false. And at some point during your login validations and checks, you set the authorized state. Done. But it's not that. It's not that. It's, you gotta jump through hoops and jump around, and maybe it works. I don't know. It just seems way, 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 way overcomplicated. So I'm gonna don't tell my my streamers from last time. He was getting frustrated with me because I was getting frustrated with Blazor. He says, it's not Blazor's fault, you're just doing it wrong. And I'm like, well, then tell me the right way, because I don't know what to do. And he didn't know the right way exactly at the time, because he hadn't done it. I mean, you know, that's the problem. Auth is complicated. I mean, just in general, getting authentication, it's never a straightforward thing. You got a lot of things going on to set up these tokens and confirm, make sure, you know, everything's going to be happy-go-lucky. How do I toggle authorized state in a .NET Blazor .NET 8 Blazor web application so that the authorized view tags will work? I'm not telling it anything else. I just want to see if there's a way to force this to be true. Just something straightforward, set the authorized state, be done with it. I want simple, this is it, man. Quick and to the point nonsense, right? So like here we got login user. So let's go to my login user. Login razor. So I do this thing here. And then we're gonna go login user. Claims identity. Perform login logic here. Done. After successful login, up the authentication state. So if we say that I'm successfully logged in, user logged in, oh, that's the wrong one. That's not my app. What am I looking at, man? That's not right. This needs to go away, man. Go away. Oh, are we doing this? Yep, we're doing this. Doggone nerdle nuts. Okay. I gotta fix my window because it's doing stupid stuff again. Apparently, I only have, every now and then, something goes weird, and I can't use, like, any of my screen with my mouse, except for this area over here. So then I gotta go to display settings, and I have to click over here, because it won't work if I'm not over there. And then the window that's been given the right when you do it will come up. And then I gotta change my scale. Yes, my scale, not my resolution. Change my scale. I gotta go to a bigger scale. It seems to make everybody happy. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know what's going on. But for some reason now I can kind of, well, once it finishes scaling, I can kind of go. Jeez. All right. Well, is it done? Oh, maybe it can't. What the heck? What just happened? I thought it was scale. Maybe it is resolution. No, it's not resolution. But I know I had to go bigger. And I set it back. Which is kind of goofy when you really think about it. Oh, am I on the wrong screen? That's what's going on. I'm on the wrong screen. Shoot. Okay. Back to this. That's what I gotta go bigger on. I gotta go back to, I gotta get bigger on the screen I'm working on. Yeah, I know, that's a pain. Alright, so now after it does that, I should be able to toggle between my apps again. See? I can do it. Of course, I don't want it to that goofy scale, so I'm gonna go to here. And it resets. Everything's good again. Don't know. Don't know why, don't know what, don't know when, but these guys will all work now. Now I can toggle my windows. Such a goofy thing. I don't know. I've noticed it has something to do with, I don't know, connecting other things. I don't know. Alright, let's get back to it. Okay, so go back to my login. Login razor. And we'll go down to my login space. So we're here, and we got Druid cookies, Druid token saved to cookie. We're gonna go ahead and just paste that other stuff right here. Maybe. Maybe if it actually copies it. Copy. We'll go here. Try that again. There we go. Okay, so we're here. So after a successful login, update the authentication state. So we're here. And now we just got to figure out, I got to set up this claims identity thing. I don't think I actually have a claims identity token set up. Auth state provider. So what do I need to make that work? I have to inject the auth state provider here. So we're going to go back up here. Do I have that? I do not. I do custom auth state provider. Make sure your custom auth state is injected into the component where you want the toggle authentication state. Okay, well here I am. It is now injected, except it doesn't exist. Where is this custom auth state provider? Is it not? I thought I had it in program.cs. Didn't I? Do I not? What's the error? Maybe it's cannot be found. Do I have to use authorize view in your components? Ensure is properly configured. Make sure is in program CS. All right, so I have to copy this. Thought I did this before, but maybe not. Let's go to program.cs. It's add scoped, so we're going to put it up here in the add scoped area. Custom auth state provider. Update the authentication state method. Ensure your update authentication state method in the custom. Okay, now ensure your update authentication state method in custom auth state provider looks something like this. So I do have this update custom auth state provider authentication state provider is this guy. I commented it out because it didn't work. I did this when everything was breaking, so I was like, no, anything but that. Custom auth state provider, authentication state provider. So we're going to do that. I don't know what it wants, but we'll just drop these simple stuff in here, and we will see if that does anything. I'm going to take all the rest out because I'm really just minimizing. I'm trying to go to a point of let's just do as little as possible to get this working. And I'm hoping that we can get there. It says something like this, so I'm just going to go with something like that. Name. All right. And this is just the update authentication state. I don't know what this does. What is this? Custom auth state provider, authentication state provider, public async, task update. What is the problem here? This async method lacks an await method. Notify the Blazor app of the update authentication state. Everything looks good except for the fact that that lacks an await method. So do I need this then? Just do it without the async? Nope, doesn't like that. Just await? What if I do an await here? Nope, don't like that either. Probably a returning value. Can't do it because it's probably a void. Then I gotta rewrite everybody to be a void. Alright. Let's see, code above says update authentication state lacks await, something like that. Operators. kind of funny. One of the things I've noticed that when you point out something that's wrong in black box AI, it actually apologizes for the mistake. This one just goes, oh yeah, well, if you're doing that, then do this. And I'm like, well, no, it's this piece, buddy, that's returning the, wait. Returns well, then why did you tell me to do it that way? Oh, so I can keep it, but I have to do this like fake thing. Which way is better? That's interesting. Huh. Huh. What do you think? What does the world think on this one? Am I eventually going to want to add a weight? I don't know. Let's go with adding this. I'm going to try it this way. I don't know if I like this way. I don't like having things in there just because, but it does give you a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more flexibility, maybe? I don't know if I'm going to need it, but I'm going to keep it in there just in case. Okay, so that puts that in. That says very simple. We update that. Now let's go back to my program CS, see if now that fires up like it should. It does. No more errors there, so we'll close that up. Go over to my login razor. Now this may be a problem still because I still think I'm missing things like the claims type stuff, but we do now have, this is a weird thing. That's probably a direct result of missing something. Missing something. Login user. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Claims identity. Equals new claims identity, new blah, blah, claim types, name, surname, add other claims as needed, blah, blah, bearer? Oh yeah, that's fine. And then var user new claims principal, which I do have that right here. And the auth state provider. Okay, and that one looks good. Everybody looks like everybody has their thing except for this is not set. So I need to fix that. I need to figure out how to set the claims type name piece. Is that up here somewhere? My login user has it. I don't even have a log out user. I probably should have this. I mean, it doesn't even exist. I mean, like, there is a log out. I mean, you have log out right here in the, oh no, in the, well, I guess that's true. This is log in razor. I guess technically it doesn't have to be here. Right? That's if you're handling all the logging stuff in the same place. But why would the log in page have a log out method? domain, I guess, mathematically. You just call it the auth page, authorizing page. But that does that. I just got to figure out how to set this claim type now. That's all I need. I need to get this set. Now I do have a Druid service, this guy. Now this Druid service has a validate token, which I'm actually doing the validate every time somebody calls to get a value out of the token. Now, I've heard maybe this is not the best way because I shouldn't be using cookies. I don't know. Some say, you know, whatever, should be using auth headers, which is fine. I don't mind using an auth header, I guess, but you can't. I mean, I guess you still put it in a cookie, right? Okay, so all right, let's go. Some people are big on using chat or chat GPT. Now I'm feeling guilty. Chat GPT, Claude. Some people are big on using it. They will just dive headfirst into that stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, let's do it." Other people are like, "Don't use that stuff. That stuff doesn't know what it's talking about. Makes errors." Probably does. Yeah, but ultimately it seems to be pretty good most of the time. But some are like, oh, just go read the documents. Go read blah, blah, blah. Some people like documents. I am not a document guy. I'm sorry, folks. I will read docs as needed. But sometimes just a nice specific question will pull the information you need from the docs. I've gone to MS Learn, and it can be kind of iffy. But here's the deal. I'm going to do 2 questions. I'm going to do one in ChatGPT, let it figure it out. And then I'm going to go do a Google search, which is how you would do it otherwise, right? Google, and then Google will return all of the links and locations and see. And we'll see which one has a better response, if I can find a good response in Google. It's just the niceness of it answering your question that you ask in AI, which Google just kind of asks questions or answers it with maybe sort of similar questions. Similar questions that other people have asked. It's like, yeah, one of these might be what you're asking for. I don't know. It looks kind of like it. So you might end up on MS Learn. You might end up somewhere else. Okay, so I have that. Let's go ahead and say, see, like I have, okay, so I have a claim here, right? So I have my claims being set by my return value. So I need to have my get auth. I need to call this. Do I have my Druid service on my login? I do not. So I should probably just call my Druid service and then say, give me this value. Because I wonder if I could just have it return. I wonder if it'd be easier for me to have it return. See, I have var claims equals JSON token claim. So it's creating this claim object, right? And as such, it's getting all my values back. And then my login user, which is down here, also wants to do a claim. It's creating a claim, right? Let's go on. Claims identity. It's not a claims identity though. This is a claim. But I have a new claim. So that's already defining a claim, but I have a claim. I feel like I'm so close, you know, like maybe this is the answer. Maybe not, but we'll find out. But what I do need is to make what is this guy trying to read up here? He wants to read, to get the email, he's reading, name example, input.email. Oh, that's not the one. This is not the one, never mind. It's this nav menu. This guy, what's he trying to read? User.identity. And what's user.identity? Uninitialized, current URL, navigate, blah, blah, blah. So it must just be coming from the setting of the user, a user object within the identity. So, because it's going context.user.identity, and so it must be setting the user context inside of wherever it's pulling that from. Because I don't think current URL, it's not getting that from any of this stuff. It must be a state as part of the authorized, this whole content.user bit. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go see what ChatGPT says. How does that defined? User.identity. How is @context.user.identity defined in this code? Wait, what? Let's try it again. How is I don't know what it just did. How is I don't like that. How is context.user.identity defined in this code? You know, there is, it puts the add in that I didn't put in. Refers to the authentication state user simply object. If the user is authenticated, here's how it is defined work. Context.user. This represents the current user principal, which is in the instance of claims principal. It uses the access details about the currently authenticated user. Got it. So I have to set that stuff. Claims principal. I just think it's weird that we're using claims. Claims is such a weird terminology for that. Let's go back to login. So we do have to set this claims principal and all this as part of my action. So I have all right, so let's go to my Druid service. Let's go here. And I'm trying to figure out how, so I got just our token handler. So let's take this. Get auth value. I'm going to take this piece, retoken. Okay. No, that's not the best place to do this, huh? I gotta set the token. I gotta set the claims principal. I gotta set the claims principal in my login page. It's gotta be done here. There's claims principal. So I've already saved it to the cookie. So theoretically, I could just call and read my cookie, but I don't. It seems silly to validate the cookie after I just logged it in. But it should work, right? So claims identity, claim types. I don't. Oh, the name. Oh, I see. Because name is like a default value. Username is a value that's got to come from my token. So what if I inject what if I inject no, not that. What if I go to login? Feels weird because I know this is already being called at the other thing, but I'm gonna inject it anyway. At inject Druid service. I don't know, what am I gonna call it? Druid service? Sure. Druid service. Okay. Now I should be able to reference the Druid service at this point, right? How do I gotta check to see which of those are even being used. All right, so I got a Druid service, and in the Druid service, I want to go, let's go here, we're gonna go var string user, call user name. I don't even think I have the name, but let's go call it user email. I'm going to call it user email. And then I'm going to go equals Druid service dot get auth value dot we're going to go token comma email. Let's see. What is it supposed to be? Token payload? Token payload value dot email. All right, so I did something wrong. Really? Oh, why did I say var string? That's silly. I mean, I guess I could have just said string, but does that work? No. Really? Can I possibly convert type test string to string? No? Why not? It's a string. I'm returning a string. Why can't string be a string? I don't know, man. Which means it's probably not going to allow me to do this either, but we're going to do this. Eventually this will have to be an actual name, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Now what? What are you complaining about, man? You're being a jerk, man. Got to string. I don't know why you're being like that, but whatever. Seems like it would be better just to change it right here, huh? Just say dot to string. And then I don't have to do this. And I can just say string here, because that's what it is. Get it over with right away. Why do that extra manipulation later? So, okay, so I have a name, I have a claims type, I have a claims identity, maybe? I say maybe with a question mark. Sure. Why not? Now, it's a good chance I'm missing something. I know it's more than user email here, right? I don't know. I feel like I'm not loading up the claim correctly, claims identity. Because there's probably more than user email, which means the user's probably not going to have what does claim types have? What is the options on here? These are actor, anonymous, cookie path, name, date of birth. Well, you can put a lot of stuff on here. Email, given name. Wow, they really put a lot on there. Huh? This is like all kinds of values. Generic objects. They just stick a bunch in there. Stuff you might want to have passed up, I guess. It's interesting how they just go with it, you know? You can just load them up, use them or don't. So really what I should probably do is, instead of calling this name, because my nav menu here is not even reading that. It's reading account manager, and it's going to put in user.name, which is the one we're loading, but in this case, I don't have name yet being passed back. I know, I need to do that. But right now, I think I could just do email. And let's just go email. And then we're going to go back to my nav menu here. We're just going to change this to email. Probably not particular. Wait, what? Well, how come I can do name? I can't do email. What is identity identified as? Do I need to pass that up to something? Well, obviously, if I can read an identity, it should have an identity, right? Claims identity. Should I run this? What's it gonna do? I don't know. Probably nothing. Let's just see what happens when I run this. I want to see stuff happen. I want to see it, and I want to believe it. Might not work, but I feel like what I'm doing is more to the point than whatever the heck I was doing yesterday, and the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. Oh, glumugla. So as we wait for this to load, you have to go back to the beginning of my stream and see what you think of my my audition. I have 5.5 hours before I have to audition. Woo! Am I nervous? Am I nervous? No, not yet. Guess it. Oh golly, golly gee marlikers! What happened? What do you mean there's no auth state provider? There is too. On-type UCL web components, account pages, login. There is no registered service of type UCL web services custom auth state provider. Create property injector. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Custom auth state provider. Okay. It's right there. And program.cs, custom auth state provider. And custom auth state provider. Where is this at? This is under, I'm pretty sure I have it, but this is under Services. Do I have services on my page? Yep, services right there. There's no registered service of type ucl-web.services.custom auth state provider. Do any of these work? Nope. All right. What's missing? What's missing? How is that a case? How is that a thing? It is registered. I did register it. So it's lying to me. And then we're going to go back here. Copy. Cannot provide sometimes suggest that is not registered. No kidding. Israel, you'll need to ensure that you're registered. I did that. Add the registration. Oh wait, you have to do 2? It didn't tell me to do 2. It told me to do 1. What's all? Custom auth state provider, optional if you want to inject directly as well. Oh. So, as well, do I want to do it as well? Is there an advantage to doing it as well? Is that required to do it as well? Update auth state provider. So it's doing auth state provider. So if I want to inject it directly, do I want to do it directly? I don't know. Let's try and do it directly, I guess. I don't know why I'd want to do both. But I don't know that I need both. I don't know what's needed. I guess that's, I don't understand what the advantage is to doing either one. I hate doing extra stuff because it feels like, you know, you're making things clunky by duplicating. But if that's the problem, then we'll fix it. If this fixes it, great. I don't mind playing with things after it works, you know, one line at a time. But I don't want to, you know, if it doesn't work yet, I mean, I can try to see if it's necessary, if I can remove that. I mean, I always like to clean things up, but that's how you learn what's required, what's not. And over time, I've done that, you know, where you write code, you come back later, and you're going, why did I do that? That's not needed. That's not needed either. All right, so we did manage to get past the page. Now we click login, and we wait for something to happen. Okay, so it logged in. Let's see, did we get messages? Blazor, because it's inaccessible, disconnected. We did not get messages. Somebody didn't do their job. I got lots of logs. I don't even see trying to log in. I don't see anything. Like it just came back here. Information, disconnected, normalizing Blazor because it's inaccessible. So did we not even log in? Or maybe we already have a cookie? Or I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. Oh, wait a minute. No. I don't know. What the heck? That was me trying stuff. This is not supposed to be there. It redirected without even getting to where I wanted to go. Never mind. That's not going to do anything. I don't know. Let's do a hot reload on that one. That should be okay. Okay, now we're here. Now we're here. All right, so we're gonna go through, we're gonna walk through, we're gonna do a login. It's gonna go out and say, hey man, I need to log in. Okay, here's your login token. Thank you, sir. We're logged in. Let's go and write that thing to a cookie, shall we? Yeah, here's a cookie. And about that cookie name, would that work for you? Yeah, sure, that'll work. We'll go ahead and write that down. We'll put it in this cookie. Saved it. Yay, we saved it. Now we're going to do whatever this line says, but it's going to blow up because it's got squiggly lines underneath it. Why does it have squiggly lines? Well, I don't know. Why are we getting squigglies? I don't know, man, but it's probably going to choke. Something's happening. Hey, we got to the get token value. Yay! Now we're going to read, and then it's going to send us back up here. We got to check to see if this thing is good. Maybe. Where'd it go? Oh, what happened? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. something went schnagelpuss on that one. I don't know what just happened. I don't think it did everything it was supposed to do. View. I don't know, man. Something went schwonky there. Do I have a value? User's null. Oh, I haven't set new user null. There is a claim in there. Null, bearer count, null. Actor name. Name is null. Null. User did not get a name. That's not good. Whoever this actor guy is didn't get anything. Wait, do I need to read it? Maybe I have to go down a little deeper. So if I go here, and then I have to go to claims. I don't see any value. Oh, there is an email address, system task, something string. Claims, authority, email address, system string. No, nothing actually wrote there. I don't think that's the value we're supposed to have. Pretty sure. That's supposed to say the email name, not task system string. So whatever we did, we didn't quite get what we wanted. But we did go in, so we're closer-ish. Closer-ish. Let's see what happens when it's probably going to blow up in some way. Something's not going to write correctly. Yeah, what do we get? Get an error? Exception. Security token malformed exception. Token. Well, you know, we're getting somewhere. This is different. This is like, hey, we're actually moving in the right direction. Maybe, kind of. I'm gonna go ahead and go with. This is the first time in history we actually made it to this line. I expected to go in here and read this token. Don't know what happened to my token. It came in. It didn't have a valid value, but it tried. Let's go to my inspect here. I'm going to go to the console. This never works. I don't know why. Writing to the console is sucky. Even when I say console.writeLine, it won't write to it. I can write console.writeLine and it still goes, yeah, I don't want to do that. Actually, we're going to do that. Console.writeLine. We're going to say, at least I think this doesn't work. We're just going to say token. I want to write the token. Whatever the nonsense is that we get to here, I want to write it. Write it down, man. Keep track of your tokens. I don't know. Why can't it do that? Oh, because that's not even a valid line yet. Let's do that. Can I do it now? No. Oh, well, because this right line is not a real thing. A right is not a thing. Dot right. Oh, there is a right, but we'll just go with right line. I don't know what right is. Right what? I don't know. It doesn't want to acknowledge this, but we're gonna just leave it like that. We'll see what it writes when I do that. Let's refresh that puppy. Oops, I did a total refresh. Started the app over. It's a little bit longer. Just a tiny bit. Hey man, why am I? Oh golly McDoodles. Where am I at, man? You did not yell at me. Nobody yelled at me and said, "What are you doing?" I can't even see it. Okay, so here I'm gonna have to cut everything out. Okay, so here we are. Let's try this again. I get the login and click. Get some breakpoints. This should take me all the way into here. Sure, why not? Go F10, F11, F10. What is this going to write? Let's go ahead and open up my console. It says it's console. It says console.write, which means write to console, right? No, what that means is don't write to console because console doesn't let you write anything for some bizarre reason. Okay. All right, so we're going to go console.writeLine token. And let's see what that writes. Nothing. It wrote nothing. It did nothing at all. But maybe it writes something here. All right, so we got the bearer. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go to XML visualizer. Why not? What is this going to write now? Nothing. What, is it writing it out in white? What the heck? I just said view it. Obviously there's a value in it, so show it to me. JSON visualizer? Well, it's not pretty. I know there's more to it. Come on, give me the rest. Oh, it's totally encrypted. That's the problem. Or not encrypted, but decoded or encoded. So we have a token, read token, handler, root security token handler. Why does this fail though? Because we should handle it, read it, and then down here's yeah, let's just, I don't know why it blew up. Let's see what happens. Why is it blowing up right there? That's not what it's supposed to do. Why is it blowing up right there? Exception. Identity model tokens, security token malformed exception. Okay, so it's obviously reading that wrong. Gary T. Howdy, y'all. How you doing, man? What's the latest? I wish you luck, man. Okay, so I've been a C# developer. Framework, though. This is like old. We'll call it old C# because framework for 4.5. I'm trying to get an external auth API to load up and function within a Blazor app, and I'm using the Blazor template, web application template for .NET 8. Blazor's cool. If you know C#, it's got to be decent, right? That's my feeling. I always like C#. I like it for its what you can do with it. But I'm telling you, man, this auth integration is really convoluted. So, okay, so you don't know what I'm doing, but my overall goal here, I have a side-by-side application I'm developing. I'm doing a React application and a Blazor application. Same application, they're even going to look pretty much the same, function the same, but one's using React with Next.js as the backend, and one is just Blazor web app because it does both client and backend and server. And then I am attaching them to an Auth API that I developed in .NET 8. One lion on Twitch for Blazor. One lion on Twitch. Never heard of one lion, but I'll have to check it out. Check that person out. But you know, the best way to learn, dig in there, man. Get your hands dirty. But I will say Auth is pain in the rear. I've seen a number of videos, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. Well, Twitch, you don't really look for specific videos, right? Because it's not topical. It's like they do a stream, and it's topical at the time of the stream, but I mean, finding specific things are a little bit different. So if you want something that's concise and to the point, you got to use YouTube, but not live streams like me. I'm just blathering on and learning. All I'm doing is learning this stuff. So if maybe you gather, what I'm planning to do, is to start editing some of my videos and cutting out all of the chaff, turning my 4 days of experiments and learning how to do something into a simple, this is how you do this task. Turn them into 20-minute videos of how to do things. But you'll also be able to see. Flask. What is Flask? Python Flask. And judge you? No. Hey, the one thing that threw me off with Python, I'm not a Python expert either. I spent a little time playing with it because I wanted to see how it differed from C#. Python is weird because indentation matters. And that was a slap in the face, because I was going along this little tutorial and I had exactly what his code was and it wasn't working, and I'm like, what the heck? And I'm staring at it and rerunning it and checking my spelling and all this stuff, and I'm going, the only thing different here is that this one is not indented the same. But it's like, that would be stupid if that's a thing. And I said, I'll fix it anyways. I dented in, bam, it worked. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So apparently in Python, indentation matters. So, I mean, a lot of these things have their own little quirks, right? I mean, like C# uses squiggly braces or squiggly brackets. Hey, C really, microcontrollers, wow. I don't know too many people getting into C. C++, I know a lot of people doing C++, because C++ is like the master program, right? I mean, you can program everything with C++. I don't know anything about C, to be honest. I used to think C was just short for COBOL. That's how old I thought C was. But C is C. C is post-COBOL, pre-C++, I think. I don't even know what the heck C is. I know nothing about C. I know very little about C++, except that everybody uses it to develop. C++ is used to write other languages, right? It's used to write C# and VB and Fortran, not Fortran, F# and all those other things, or even just games and everything have to be, it's a low-level program. It does force it, but you know, there's also things that can force it for you anyway. You can still force your indentation, just the fact that it can break your code. So look at it, think of it this way. I mean, I guess your code won't function if it's not written right, if you don't indent right in Python. So you don't have to have a code prettier tool, right? But it's not so hard. A lot of UIs now, they'll fix your indentations for you, if you're using other languages that don't care. Yeah, no memory management. It also does garbage collection poorly. Well, that's memory management, but it also does things like, you know, pointers and all that kind of stuff that a lot of times the higher level languages will manage for you. You know, they do their own garbage collection. They handle pointers better. It's because it's already been kind of wrapped up with the C++ and the lower level code. It wraps it all up for you when they write those languages. Now those languages don't have to deal with that stuff. You know, graphics are like set up. Your windows already have the round corners. They already have the setup and layout. But every time you see a new version of Windows come out and like all your windows have different shapes or more square, more rounded, or whatever they are, that's a C++ change. You know, it's not being done. I don't even think you can't change those things in a C# or Visual Basic application, because when you look at a window, you create a window or a page, whatever you're doing, it just shows up like it's designed for. It's like whatever interface you're using, it's going to be there. They are, though. They're really good, especially in VS Code. VS Code does some really nice stuff. Visual Studio is pretty good too. I mean, there's a lot of tools that'll do the same thing. I don't think you can put Prettier in Visual Studio, but Prettier on, I mean, there's actually, I mean, if assuming we're talking about the extension, Prettier, that one in VS Code is pretty good. It's nice. So when you type a bunch of stuff and you're like, it's a little off, and you just hit, you know, what is it, Alt F or Control Alt F, Control F, I don't know, something, whatever it is, it cleans up everything. And what's a nice thing about that too is when you hit it, if it doesn't do anything and you know it should, then you know there's a bug. You know you typoed something because it's not sure how to, like you're missing a parenthesis or you're missing something because it doesn't know how to respond to it. So you're like, oh, okay. Well, you fix it and then you hit it again and everything cleans up. So it's almost like a nice little cue that something's out of whack, that maybe your UI didn't catch. I don't know. You know, you're talking about like GitHub Copilot or just the Copilot app. Yeah, you know, I got into, so when I first started doing this streaming, I refused to use AI because I had tried it in the past, like months ago, 6 months, 8 months, and I wasn't that impressed. It wasn't doing anything. But while I was doing streaming, I had one guy come on. He says, hey, why don't you use AI? You know, and I was like, because I've had issues with it. But while you're here, I'll do it. So I tried it. And I used Copilot because I've used Copilot before. Copilot actually returned a pretty good answer. Copilot, you know, on Edge. And it returned a pretty good language. He goes, no, you got to use ChatGPT, you know. But I said, Copilot's built on ChatGPT, but we'll check it out. So I went to ChatGPT, tried it. And it does do a better job of formatting it. Answers are pretty much the same, but it formats it better. It's prettier. And then after that, I started getting people like saying, you got to try Black Box AI. It's really good. So I tried Black Box AI. I have to tell you, I went back to ChatGPT. There's some things about Black Box AI that just wasn't doing it for me. I mean, it's nice. It's actually a little bit more friendly. It's kind of cool. It makes a mistake. Instead of just going along with the fact that it made a mistake and telling you how to correct it. Because you go, hey, made this blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, if you want to do it this way, do that. I'm like, oh, okay. So I do it and it works. But it's, when like with Black Box AI, I noticed one time an error and I go, but this has this. And it's like, oh, you're right. Excuse me for the error. This is how you would fix that. And, you know, it kind of takes responsibility for the error, which I thought was kind of cool for an AI. It's all meaningless, right? It doesn't matter how it goes about it. Yeah, well, if you're doing anything front end, client side, you're going to be doing JavaScript. JavaScript is, even if you're using React or Vue or TypeScript, or they're all based in some cases on JavaScript. So if you're ever doing any front end stuff, you're going to be doing JavaScript. You're going to know. By the time you write an application anymore, these days, you're going to be doing JavaScript. I mean, once you start doing anything, I mean, even if you're doing Blazor, you're doing JavaScript at some point on the UI side. Yeah, they write tags and there's wrappers around a lot of that stuff, but ultimately there's still JavaScript getting written. So it's kind of like the integral piece of everything. The only difference really between JavaScript and TypeScript is that it's type-based TypeScript, right? So, yeah, so JavaScript's pretty hard to get away from. Java, you know, you hear a lot of people saying that Java is a thing, quite a big thing out there. I don't see a lot of straight Java out there. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of it. I've never programmed in straight Java, but apparently it's pretty big. The Northwest. When I say what part of the Americas, well, the United States Northwest, up in the Washington State area. That's true, part of the Americas, huh? Because there's like a whole bunch of them. Wait, we are the America. Didn't anyone tell you that? That's like, you hear about like other countries kind of go, the nerve of the U.S. always saying they're America. You know, they're not America. They are the United States of America. But it's like, no, we are America. Everyone else is Canada, Mexico. We are America. Kind of. Well, yeah, it's getting to be less and less. Yes, there are a lot of devs out here, but there's a lot of us getting replaced by people out in, offshore from India and um, what? Dang it! What's the other the other big one? That's uh, not Pakistan. No, not Pakistan. Oh, I can't remember. It's really, there's such a common over here. It's so common, but we're getting replaced by a lot of offshore developers, and there's a lot of them kind of taking over our jobs here because of the ability to write remote programming to do remote, and the fact that a lot of them outside of the U.S. are much cheaper. Companies are doing a lot more outsourcing. So yeah, it's becoming a thing. A lot of us are losing work. I'm out of work right now. See, that's why I say that. And I was actually partially replaced by offshore. My company went down to like, I think they were less than 30% FTE or full-time employees, local to the company. They were just offshoring everybody. They had contracts with a couple of different companies that were providing all the offshore stuff. So, yeah, it's a thing. And yes, we had a lot of problems with them. They set up these contracts for them to do all the support for this or development for that, and they had to talk to the FTEs. And they had contracts that say you can't expect the FTEs to do this for you because they wanted to get rid of us all, right? So you guys got to get all this work done. And so they keep contacting us, and we weren't getting any work done because all the offshore people were coming to us going, how do you do this? What do you do this? And we don't know how to, so we had to teach them and show them how to make things work. And we were logging it and saying they're doing this. And at best that would result in penalties to them, to their company, because they were not doing their work without us. But that didn't matter. They still slowly got rid of us, and they slowly learned, and eventually they didn't need as many of us. So they were trying to get down to like 20% of onshore workers, which is terrible, right? I think. I mean, depending on where you're from. um, anyway, so I'm trying to figure this out. I am working my own little problem here. Language barriers and even just accents. Sometimes it's just so strong. It can be very difficult to understand. You feel bad. I feel bad when I'm talking to somebody, one of the offshore people, and they're speaking English, but they just speak really fast and their accent is so strong, and I keep having to make them repeat. And I feel bad about that. It's like, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just don't quite understand what you're saying because you're blending too many things together. And then I feel bad for them too, in a way, because they're taking these jobs, right? But that means they have to work. They have to work like overnight. Their work hours are like 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. or depending on where you are in this country that the company you're working with. You're working at all night long, and then you sleep during the day. So it's like their families must love that. So they don't. They can't. They have to be on the clock when we're on the clock because that's who they're working for, right? So it's got to be kind of rough. But again, I can't feel too bad. They do have a job. They have my job, but I'm trying to get new work. That's what I'm doing all this for. Trying to learn React, Blazor, Next.js, Auth APIs. Trying to get some stuff on my resume that says, "Hey man, I can do this. Help me out. Give me a job, man. Put me back to work, please." But anyway, here we are. Let's see if I can figure this out. So we're trying to load this, and it is blowing up. So we got, whatever reason, I go F10. Okay, so it's not, we having this, malformed. My token is malformed. How is it malformed? What is it getting back? Because it writes the cookie, but it's obviously reading, it's not doing it right. Because I have the, token name, token. It is a bearer token, but I gotta, Yeah, yeah. Authorization is kind of a bear any language. I think anything you're doing. I did figure it out on my React app already though. I got the Auth API fixed and working, and then I tried to do it in Blazor. Couldn't do it. Went to React. I said, all right, let's do it in React first. Got the piece I wanted working, and I said, all right, let's go do that same thing in Blazor. I've been working on it for a week and a half now. But we'll get there. I'm making progress. I already got past that. Now I just got to figure out why my token is showing up as malformed. I think it's because it's reading it with the bearer prefix. It's not. Why does it think it's malformed though? Do I need to take the? I'm thinking I might need to take the bearer part of my token off. Hey, Joe. Oh yeah, no, definitely. I have been stuck on this for a while. Well, no, let's put it this way. I'm on a new problem. Same ultimate goal, same ultimate problem, but I have gotten past a lot of the stuff by throwing out all the crap everything else is redirecting me at and just simplifying my objective. Now the problem is my token is just showing up as malformed. I think once I fix that, I know my token is coming in, it's writing to the cookie. I think it's because I have the bearer prefix on there. I'm hoping that's all it is, because my token is valid. It came back, and I think whatever this HTTP context accessor is writing this cookie, and it's doing it differently. It's using append versus what I was doing when I set the cookie before. And I'm even wondering if I should be using a cookie at all, to be honest, because I think I saw somewhere that it said it's not necessarily the best way to be writing it to the cookie. I should be using what do you call auth headers once you get it. I'm thinking, well, it still has to be stored, so it's either going to be stored in a cookie or in the local storage. But I've also heard local storage isn't that great, so I'm using a cookie. And then I shouldn't be reading it from the cookie. I should just be reading it from the auth header, which is fine. I don't mind trying to do that, but no. See, here's the problem. There's so much. I have not been able to find. I've been struggling to find the right documentation that works with what I'm trying to do. And right now, I think. Let's see here. All right, so, and yeah, I'm gonna try something here. No, ChatGPT. Oh man, are we broken again? Oh, okay, no, just me. I don't know how to use my mouse. Never mind. Ignore me. There's so much documentation and so many things. It's like, how do you know when you're looking at the right thing? All right, we'll do Google. Let's just say Google. All right, so the question is. By the way, I actually took the exact problem I'm having, and that was getting Auth View to work. And really, I understood. I broke it down in my mind down to one thing to make Auth View work. And if Auth View works at all, the trick is set authentication state. Either set it authenticated or set it not authenticated. That's it. Simple. Just give me the lines to do that. So I did that. Put them in. And now I think we might be on the right track. That's all I did. I said, look, I have everything else. I have the token. It's there. It's written. It's correct. I know I've already validated. I can send it back to the API. API says, yep, good to go. And then, because I've tested it, I put it in the API, the token exactly as is. So I know the token is good. Now it's saying malformed here. So I'm thinking, again, it's probably not expecting something about it. Yeah, there's so many ways, right? Because it's how you're doing it, and that's another thing. It's like there are so many settings and things you can do to make Auth work, either locally from an external API, and you're loading it up in local storage or cookies, or you're using Auth headers, which is probably some combination of the two or three, and you have to validate it and read it, and you pass it to the API to read it if you're doing it that way, or validating it locally. I mean, there's so many ways to set things up, and you set the claims identities, and you're trying to get all these functionalities. And right now, the thing I'm doing, and this almost made me just say, why am I doing this? But I feel like I still have a desire to make it work. But the authorized tags, authorized, not authorized tags, they're really a nice to have. I mean, they're kind of cool. I mean, you can use them where you're at. You're authorized or not. You set it up, you're good. But the thing is about those, it's really easy just to say, look, do I have a cookie that's valid? Yes. Just put in the value I want. Just set the variable and load it. Done. Why? I mean, yes, the authorized, not authorized, do it when it's basically an if then, right? You got authorized, do this. Not authorized, do this. That's the tags. You could also just write do this, and then have variables in there for the href or whatever you're putting in there, and you just set the href, go to the login screen or go to the account page, go to and set the pieces just using variables. Simple little test of your cookie. You don't have to do all this stuff to make authorized view work, and that's kind of where I'm like, man, that's such an easy thing. It's such an easy way out, but I'm trying not to do that because I feel like this is the cleaner way, the more obvious way, maybe even the more readable way. I don't even know if it's more readable. It's not that complicated to read an if statement. So I don't know. I'm still going to give it a go. I'm not done. I'm not ready to give it up. Although, like I said, when I Googled it yesterday, did some searches online, apparently using a Druid bearer token like I am and using auth view is a problem a lot of people are having. There's a lot of questions out there, and then when you click on some of them that say the same thing, they're like, yeah, I can't figure this out either. Yeah, it doesn't work on mine either. I think there's something wrong with Blazor or whatever. They're all complaining about it, and it's all within like the last year, so it's all fairly new stuff. And they're all saying that they can't get auth view to work. So we'll find out if my setting authenticated state using the Druid bearer tokens is going to work. But I have to first get past this. So let's first find out what's going on with my token. I think the problem is it doesn't like the fact that I have bearer on it. I mean, I could try to pull it. So get auth value. Get auth value is not, why am I, trying to decide if I want to do it this way, because I've started in the cookie. I wonder if it'd be better to pull the how do I set the auth header? Alright, so I have how to set auth header in Blazor. Let's see what. See, problem is with Google, you can't be very specific. See, there's it's a totally different questioning process in Google than you use with AI. AI, give it the details. It can it'll give you a better, more exact, more applicable answer. In Google, you give it too much junk, and it'll just you'll be all over the place. You need to be very concise, very quick, and to the point with your questions. So it's like you're asking totally different. You might be wanting the same kind of answer, but you want to ask it way more to the point. Because if you don't, you're never going to get what you want. You could be digging around forever. Set authorization header with cookie. Wait, how about with Druid bearer tokens stored in cookie in Blazor web app. Application. Still feel like that's way too big. All right, here we go. Blazor client app. It's not client though. This is, I mean, it's not really a client app. I'm doing this on the server side. Web API, Blazor, server side. With Druid and cookie auth. See how successfully wired up these projects with Auth and 3 identity providers. Oh man, that's what I want to do. I want to get all these guys going too. I can successfully log in, log out. I have also successfully wired up role-based auth for each. Man, this guy got it down, man. I have Blazor pages decorated with role-based. Yeah, annotation of pages properly allow only users with correct roles. I have not yet added role-based annotations with web API controls and methods, but I can see the roles represented in the decoded Druid. So I know that the roles are present in the claims principal user. I'm working for WebAuth. I decided to combine these separate projects into a single .NET project, primarily so that I can host a single web application instead of 2. Alright, however, I can't seem to get the app to use both Druid and cookies. I'm not sure, but it seems like it may be because I have to specify default authentication scheme. Yeah, that's the thing about Blazor. Blazor just has so many different settings if you're not doing things the same. Like if you're doing a cookie, you got to set up all this stuff. If you're doing an auth header, you got to do all this stuff. If you're doing a storage, local storage, you got to do all this stuff. And everything it does at that point changes. Everything you do changes. I just felt like it wasn't like that when I did React. Yeah, I think you mentioned Azure before. Azure does a lot of that stuff too. Really what it is you're using Azure as your Auth API. I've created my Auth API. So my Auth API is doing what Azure would be doing in your case. Or if I was to sign in and use Azure, I could have Azure do what my Auth API is doing. And Azure is probably passing a token back to your app, and your app works off the token the same way that my Auth API is doing it. Well, maybe not the same way, maybe not the same format, but it's sending it back. So it's almost like, yeah, you're just using a Microsoft's pre-made auth, and I'm using my own made auth, which was, took me a little time to figure that out, but I got it working. So now I'm just trying to get my application, my Blazor application, to read that. Now I've already logged in successfully. I've got the token back. My API is feeding me. I'm all good. I have the token back. It is not malformed. What it is it's malformed for this method. This method probably doesn't want the token on it, or the bearer token. And I'm going to cut it off, but I first want to see if there's a suggested way to do that. Like if I was to, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go, let's see, I bet you I can get the answer for this really quick and simple. Oh, where did my mouse go? Shoot. This is too long. Let's go JSON visualizer. We're going to select this. And I'm going to go give ChatGPT another chance. And we'll see what it says. I have this token. It'll tell me why. Watch it. It'll tell me why my Druid security token handler dot read token is returning malformed token error. Right? Oh. Microsoft Identity Model tokens, a security token malformed exception. Oh. Is returning security what? Token malformed golly. exception. Yeah, I know, but why does it think is a problem? Remove the bearer prefix. Okay. Did I not say that? I was just thinking maybe it would tell me the best way to do that. I guess really I guess I'm getting lazy. I think that's my problem. I think ultimately, I think my problem is I'm just getting lazy. I don't want to write my own code. I'm just gonna just tell me, man. Just tell me how to write this. I know. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Just write the token for me. Just replace the bearer token. And that's not even the way I would always do it. I feel like sometimes it's nice to just do a string.replace, but you might not be able to do that in this case. I don't know. So we just got Druid token. We're just going to take that puppy. We're going to stick it in here. It doesn't like my bearer prefix. I knew it. I said it. I said it like 5 times. And I think ultimately it came down to I was just being lazy. I didn't want to write the token.replace. Okay, just do it. All right, well, what am I missing? I guess that's it. That's all I need to do. Let's go run it again. Let's see if you complain this time. Oh, you know what I should probably do? I should probably go ahead and let's do a hot swap. Oops. Oh, am I here? All right. Go home. Come back. Go here. Read. Login. All right, we're gonna go here. 5. We are. Where are we? We are login. Okay. Now we're gonna go to our auth value, which is right here. Let's see. Now we're gonna step through. We're gonna reset and. Oh, it still blew up. What's the problem now? It still says malformed exception. What? What? You jerk face. What do you mean? Can't be malformed now. Wait. Oh, did I? Oh, wait. Let's make sure I didn't do something silly like. What is the problem? Is my bearer? I gotta go read my token again. All right, let's go and let it run. And we'll do this again. I gotta go see. It's interesting though, console.write still not working. Why doesn't console.write line work? It's right, it's walking over it like it's a thing, right? So I go here. See, it goes right here. I should be seeing things like email and password. But no, I don't see anything like that. They don't show up here, doesn't show up here, just doesn't show up. I don't think console.write line works in a server side. That's what I think. I mean, it's allowing me to type it. It's allowing me to put that stuff in, but it doesn't exist anywhere. I don't know. It doesn't like it. Whatever. But we then do go trying to log in. Where are we? You know, it's kind of funny. Where are we? Claude, which is an AI. If you don't know what Claude is, it's just ChatGPT. It's a competitor called Claude. It's apparently for programming. I don't know. I don't know if it's just for programming or for whatever else. But Claude, if it doesn't like your comments, it will rewrite your comments. Your comments. Like if I say log information, trying to log in, it rewrites it and says something like attempting login. If you like, and it doesn't like my user logged in, it'll say login successful. I mean, it'll change your comments, which is to me overkill, right? I didn't ask you if you liked my comments. Yeah, maybe those are better. Maybe they're not. Maybe I don't like them. But either way, it's like, I didn't ask you to change my comments. That don't matter. It's not changing the code. There's no outcome, no broken. But Claude goes, yeah, but you should write it this way. It's like, I didn't ask your opinion. I want you to tell me how to fix the problem. Just get to the point. ChatGPT doesn't make anything, doesn't do stuff like that. It only fixes what's broken. Well, it tries, which is way better because it can be cluttery, right? As it rewrites your stuff, and all of a sudden your text is different, your messages are different. You're like, what just happened? What changed here? Now you're like trying to figure out what's different, and it's like that's way more stuff than. What if it's not my code and I'm just trying to fix a bug? I don't have the right to go change everybody's comments. They're not going to say, why did you change these? You know, this is our standard. Who's this Claude guy telling me what's right, what's wrong? All right, so we know that doesn't work. All right, so I have this Druid token here. It no longer has bearer on it, but it's still complaining about it. I feel like maybe it's just not decoded. Like, maybe I should validate the token first. It's funny if I validate the token first. Typically, I think, because I'm just checking to see if it's null. If it's not null, then I can continue on, which is validate the token. And then it goes and reads, but it's having trouble. Claims, JSON token claims. Thing is, I could have swore I ran through this before and got it to work. Well, I know the API validation works, or should. But why does it not like my token? It's Friday, so I can't go too much longer. I don't want to go too long, but I feel like I'm close. At least I'm in here. This is like the farthest I've ever gotten to functional. And I'm like really close. I just got to figure out why it doesn't like my token. So it doesn't like my token. Do I need to tell it what kind? All right, let's see. It did kind of get me to the right place. It did. I did remove the token. All right, let's go here. Where'd it go? Error token, but handler read token GWT or as strict security token is still failing with security token malform exception. the following reasons. Well, at least it's got reasons. Validate token format. Ensure the token consists of 3 parts separated by a dot. If one more, okay. Try to parse again. Yeah, it probably is expecting the wrong format. All right. Verify signature and claims. I think that's what I got to do. I think I'm going to have to my token is signed. If the above steps don't resolve the issue, the token may not be properly signed or structured. You can decoding the DRUIT using online tools like druit.io to see if the token structure is valid. I didn't see. Does mine have periods in it? You know, to separate the various parts? Huh. There does not. There's no periods in there. No. Oh wait, no. There is one period here. And there's another period there. That's 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 parts. Sure, the token's in the 3 parts. Yeah, the typical format is header, payload, signature. If one of the parts are missing, it would trigger the signature. Sometimes tokens are padded, characters equal in the signature part. All right, my token is signed with ASCII 2, not base 64. Ensure proper signing during token creation. The best solution to fix the problems that generates your token, ensure that the signature is properly encoded using base64 URL encoding. This will guarantee the token adheres to the DRUIT specification. If you're generating token manually, make sure the signature is base64 URL encoded, for example, in .NET when creating the DRUIT token. And that's what mine does. Get bytes, your keys, token security, claims, token. This method will ensure the signature is probably base64 encoded as expected by DRUIT token handler. That's pretty much what I'm doing, I think. So it is base64, even though it's using ASCII 2, which is weird. The example up here shows ASCII 2. But like if I go to my code, authorize, and then I read this guy out. We go to program.cs somewhere. And mine looks pretty much like that, I think. ASCII 2, get bytes, ASCII encoding. Oh, encoding.ascii2.get bytes, and here's my key. So that's just what I got. And that's the key. And then we go down here and we go builder. Well, add authentication isn't in that, but that's. Wait, what is it doing this piece? Subject equals oh. Well, this is doing it different. I'm not doing it that way. This whole thing, this whole claims identity piece, this is the only in the last few days have I seen this start popping up and everything, and I'm like, that is different. And I'm like, why is that a thing all of a sudden? Signed credential, symmetric security key. So I do have token validation parameters. I do have an expiration, I know that. Issuer, audience, lifetime, true. Add cores, which I had to do. Because I can read my token. So expires equals datetime.utc now.add hours. Yeah, whatever. Token descriptor equals new security token descriptor. That's like a whole new whole new thing. I'm a little worried about adding that because I don't want to break my Auth. Let's see if it makes a difference. Mine is a Druid bearer token. And it is defined as defined in the Auth web API as, this is different because I'm a little worried about even trying what it's saying. I don't want to break stuff, you know? I feel like my token is fine because it works in React. Holy moly, 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 moly. Requirement, save token. Why does it think my key is even encoded? My key is just a key. I just created a random key. Builder.configuration. I'm not from base64. Because see, this isn't decoding it. This is encoding it. This is saying convert dot from base64 string. If your Druid key is base64 encoded string, which it should be, modify the key. No, key is not encoded prior to the ASCII encoding dot ASCII to dot get bytes mentioned above. You ensure that the key itself is correctly managed. This might require debugging the exact content and length of the key to ensure it works for your token validation setup. However, using ASCII2 is not recommended. Switch to base64 encoded key. For a stronger and more secure solution, switch to using a base64 encoded key, which is standard practice. Generate a base64 encoded key. You can generate a secure key using a tool like OpenSSL or a base64 encoder. This command will generate a 256 key, which is ideal for HMAC. Wow, really? store the base64 encoded key in app settings.json, which is fine. Huh. Holy moly. So this is taking me back all the way back, which is gonna probably, I'm saying right now, it's probably gonna break my React app. But it sounds like it's possible I did it a little too weak. Like maybe I shouldn't do it that way. I don't know why I went with ASCII 2. Because I was doing, I think it's just because things kept bouncing around, right? And then finally this worked. And I was like, oh good, I'll just stick with that. And then of course, you know, problems. So everything worked. So I got everything working on the React side, but now I'm trying to get the Blazor side, and Blazor's going, this ain't secure enough. Which means once I get it working on Blazor, I gotta go back to React, and React's gonna go, this is not what you told me I had. I'm decoding this in ASCII 2, but you're doing it in base64. React was by default wanting to do things in base64. To be fair, it was asking me that too, and I told it, no, I'm doing it in ASCII 2. I said, oh, okay, well, I'll do it this way. It didn't tell me not to do it that way. Like this is telling me, don't do it that way. So there's that. I don't know, darn it. All right, so let's go look at my app settings.js. I'm gonna go, we'll go here, because I may need a different key later. All right, so we've got this, and I probably have one in here too. App settings.json. Wait, nope, let's go back. This is totally making me step back a notch. Hopefully this ain't gonna be too big of a deal though. I'm hoping, oops, what did I do? Take the whole thing? I did, I took the whole thing. What was I doing? Just wanna push this over there. I'm gonna go back here, solution, app settings, logging. Oh, I don't even have. I must be storing it in the secrets. Okie dokie. Storing it in the secrets. Alrighty, so let's go back over to solutions and go to secrets. There it is, okay. Alright, so we're here. Well, I got logging levels and all this stuff. Probably don't need it everywhere. Somebody told me I had interesting logging levels. And now I see why, because I have 3 of them. They're like all different. Oh, they're all the same. What the heck, man? I certainly don't need it in all the places. That one has allowed hosts. I figure logging levels don't need to be in my secrets page. That seems like an overkill thing. Let's get rid of that. Not sure why I would need to worry about my allowed hosts there either. And it doesn't feel like a now I can see my connection string, that makes sense. I don't know why it's problematic there, but oh, probably because it's inside. Don't do that. I'll get rid of that. I have too many things going on here. Cleaning up my JSON file, so hold on just a minute. Okay, so now I got to put in a spot for this key. Well, I do have a key, so it doesn't like my key. So I gotta change my key to be something a little more. I didn't know. Like I said, I had just a random key. I didn't know you had to do a weird thing. It's Go to git bash. I didn't even know you could just open SSL ran base 32. Okay, fine. Can I do that? Is that bash? It is bash. Okay. All right. It's funny that creating your own key is considered not good. It's like, don't be. Mine is pretty long. I think mine is probably just as long and complex as this one. Wait, did I not copy that correctly? Oh, I can't copy it? Okay, that did work. Okay. So now, which is going to be a pain. It doesn't have to be a pain though. I guess never mind. I'm having my Auth API is handling all validation, so I shouldn't need to do much in the way of validating this. I mean, I shouldn't need this key on both ends because I should just pass it back and then it'll decrypt it. So I don't want to have to decrypt. It just needs to know that I have a valid key. It doesn't need to know what the key is. I'm gonna have API do it. But either way, it needs to be able to encode it correctly, right? What are you complaining about? Doesn't like something here. I'm looking at this guy and it doesn't like something. A member with the name key. Oh, no, it doesn't. I deleted that member. There's no other member here. What are you talking about? Fix yourself. There's no other key here. It's delusional. I've deleted all members with keys. Well, whatever. You're wrong. Okay, so let's go back here. So now it's recommending some other variation of this. So I got Druid Bearer and it's doing this. False metadata, save token, new. We got the true, issuer, audience, and key. Issuer, signer key, new symmetric key. So the only difference is it's getting key back using this instead. Okay. So we'll go with that instead. And now everything changes. The world recalibrates everything. Now, with that said, I got to go look at my, I have a method in here for validating my class, my auth. Is it this one? API controller, where's validate token at? Login, validate token. Do I have to decipher it? UTF-8? Why does it say UTF-8 get bytes? So do I say base 64 instead? Symmetric key. That don't seem right. It's weird. Why does my validate token read it with UTF-8? That's not even right because it wasn't even written with UTF-8 before. That seems bizarre. Let's go ahead and do this. I may have had a problem with that code. Could have swore I validated. No, I have validated, and it was happy camper, man. I don't know what the heck happened. All right, so we're gonna go here. And we're gonna to the key, and we're just going to take that key just like the other one did. We're just going to pop it in here, just like the other one did. Oops, except we're going to put a print too. Okay, so that should be the exact same. It's going to decrypt it. It's going to be happy because I said so. Oops, what did I do here? Oh, it's configuration. Configuration. Druid key. Yes. Yes. Oh, lowercase. And then we will change this back to key. Okay, what's your problem, man? Possible null reference. No, we're not going to get a null reference. Yes, it's possible, but we shouldn't. Alright. Totally broke my stuff, man. Alright, so we're going to hit save. Save all. Okay. Hopefully. Now this shouldn't affect too much about how my stuff functions. I mean, all I did was change the inner workings of each item to do a little bit slightly different thing. I'm feeling like okay, so let's just run this. Let's just refresh this app. I know it could potentially be false. I don't expect it to be false. And if it is false, I need an error anyway. It's got to blow up because no key, no function. No key, no good. No soup for you. Okay, so we're going to go back over here. I could probably close all these guys. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? Oh, I did do that. Never mind. All right. Never mind. I'm thinking of things that don't, problems that don't exist. Alright, so what I want, over here, let's go back here. Okay, so we're gonna have to stop this puppy, restart it, and let's see if it complains. We are now back onto the base 64 side of the world, theoretically. You can't complain about it being base 64 anymore. I mean, it can, but it shouldn't. I can't stop it from doing that. Alright, so, hey, we still saved to the cookie, okay. Now we're going into the Auth. Go in here. Go in here, go in here. There's still a token with bear on it. We are. Now, is it still going to give me the same problem? Yes. Still got the same problem. Ah! You don't like me. You don't like me. It's still, I changed it to base 64. Now you shouldn't be giving me such a headache. Why do you not like me? Alright. I changed it to what you wanted, and yet you still be mean. We got here. Why does it not like my token format? Alright, so if I go back up, no, key's not, okay, so over here. And the code you provide for the issue seems to be with the key being encoded. You're using encoding ASCII get bytes to convert the string into bytes, which works for simple ASCII strings. Alright. If your Druid token signature is signed with ASCII 2, which it's not, so let's keep going back up. I'm back to whatever you thought it was. Sure that a token consists of 3 parts, separated by a dot, which I'm pretty sure it does. Let's go run it so I can see it, but I'm pretty sure it does. We'll log in. We go F5. We get to our token. I go read the token. We go here. We say JSON viewer. We go here. We go copy. And there's a period right there, and there is the third part period way at the end. Right. Right there. So we got the other period. So we do have our periods, our 3-part periods in there. Encoded correctly. Okay. And we know that we set it up as base 64 because I created it as base 64. So the token is valid, or the signing is valid. Okay. Sometimes tokens are missing padding characters in the signature part. Base 64 encoded data should be properly padded, but some implementations drop these characters. You can try adding padding back manually if necessary. Well, yeah, mine does have actually that. 'Cause I saw there was equal sign. So if I go look at my JSON, oh no, wrong one. You know, I don't think that's being used, but maybe. Authorize. Solution. Developer. Nope, secrets. Manage user secrets. Yeah, see, equal sign. The equal sign is a pattern, huh? I didn't know that. Huh. Interesting. But, okay. Here's the function. Manually fix the padding. Without token format. Equals parts dot pad right. Does it? I didn't even notice. Does the token have an extra pad in it? Is there one at the beginning and the end? No, it just puts it at the end. No, I already have that. Mine exists. Try to parse again. After fixing any potential padding issue, try reading the token again using Druid security token handler. Well, yeah. Fix the potential base 64 padding issues. I mean, I guess. Is it putting it at the end of the token? So it's like, is it dropping it at the end of my token? I didn't look. I didn't actually go look at the end of the token. That is so weird. Why would I need to do that? It just seemed bizarre. Okay. Just saying. I'm going to throw out my comment. I'm just saying. Giving it to you straight, man. I think that's goofy. But who knows? Alright, so let's see. Let's go look at my token again. And we're going to go back here. I'm going to go JSON visualizer. And we're going to go click. And go to the end. Nope, we can't do it that way. And we're going to scroll to the end. I do not see an equal sign on this. So is it not? It's just like handler. So it really is. It's putting a equal sign on the end. That's all it's doing. Length plus. I don't know what all this. 4 equals. That is so weird. I'm gonna. If this works, if I do this and it works, I'm gonna be like, why? Fixed token. Alright, I'm just going to take this guy, copy. I am just going to be so surprised if this is a thing. Fixed token padding. We're going to try this thing. I just think that's just so weird if that's a thing. So now it's doing this. Copy. And ultimately I might just say cleanup token or clean token. Just because I want to, I'll probably add the bearer piece to it because I don't want, I mean, there's no point in doing this twice, right? I mean, if you're going to be doing junk to your token, you might as well do it all at once, right? Okay, so let's see what that does. Can it be worse? Yes, it can. No, I don't know if it can be worse, but it's certainly. What is it? Oh, I'm not even running. It's running this. Okay. All right, oh, we're back here. All right, well, let's see if that does anything. So we're doing this. Now I'm clicking this. If I click on token right now, if I go read it, and I go look at this, and go to the end, there's no equal sign here at all. It doesn't even think about putting it in. I don't see an equal there. I don't know what it is, but there's no padding on it. And then I hit F10 on this guy. Now my token should theoretically have an equal sign of some sort on there, which is so weird if it does. Look, it doesn't even like that. String is not JSON formatted. It did not like whatever it did. But there are plenty of equals on the end. Look at that. All kinds of equals crap. Huh. It's alright. Doesn't have to be JSON formatted. I'm not looking for it to be right now. So we're going to go that, and now we're going to go ahead and read this, take the bearer crap off. Now we look at it, it's still going to say not JSON formatted, of course, because it's not, because apparently what I just did is weird to it. But it does have an equal sign still. It's totally different. I don't know why it's doing that. But if this works, I'm going to be shocked. Cool, I'm not shocked. Look at that. Malformed exception. Could not read source map for Chrome error. Oh, I did even more fancy stuff. It totally blew up this time. I just totally exploded the code that time. It's like, yeah, I don't know what to do with that, man. You totally went down the rabbit hole. See? It doesn't like my token. Doesn't matter what it is. Huh. That's all I gotta say. So, huh. So, ChatGPT doesn't know why my token's broken. Why is your token broken? I'm getting the token, I'm reading the token, it doesn't like the token. And I've taken this token and gone to my auth, put it in, watch, and my validation works. So I know my validation, my token is good. So if I go here, and then I'm gonna go to my auth page here, after I go here. And then I'm going to go token, and we're gonna go here. And we're going to go, we'll go text visualizer, whatever. And we're just going to take this token and shove it. Right. And take this token. And we're going to go to my auth API. We're going to go validate this token, my friend. We'll say, Shuki-Midogi. It doesn't have a, alright, how did I do it before? I have to call it with my, text, something. Let's go here. Test.http, and we're at 7195. We got bear foo API get. Oh, I know where it is. It's here. Got it in Postman. And then yeah. Then we go to my validate token. And then we got to go here. And we're just going to go Control A, Control V. And then we send this puppy over there. And what happened? Oh, what happened? Invalid token. Oh my gosh, why is it breaking now? Alright, wait. What did I do? That's the token you gave me, man. Alright, so we're gonna try it. What the heck? What the heck, man? Alright, we're gonna try it out and try to log in. And then we're gonna go, I'm stepping backwards, going further and further into the past. Why am I going into the past? Should be working towards the future. This is all stuff that I had working just fine all of 2.5 seconds ago. And now it's like not working. Alright, I'll put this guy in there. Oh, you can just take all this. I'll put this right here. And we will say execute. Alright, so we got our token. I'm going to take this whole little body. I'm going to go copy. And then we're going to go over back to here. And we're going to put you back in here. Control A, Control V. Is that the correct one? Did I actually copy it in correctly? E-Y-J-H-J-C. And it ends in SQS. Yes. Okay. And then we go API auth validate token, which is what I want to do next. And we say Send. Unauthorized. Header. Okay, error, invalid token, error description, signature key was not found. Okie dokie. It does not like what's going on. Something went wonky with my key. Some failure of key reading. Oh, why? That's the kind of thing that's just so frustrating when you're just going back and forth and back and forth. Okay, so I have the key. I wrote it with the key. My validation here is breaking up, though. Oh, boy. Where'd it go? It's auth controller. Validate token is somewhere here. Validate token right here. Configuration. Configuration is not here. Not null here. Alright, let's put a break here. I'm assuming that when I call this, it's going to break, but we'll see. No. Okay. How do I break it then? How do I pass in the header here? Login. Oh, never mind. I gotta do this first. Forgot I can't do it from here and then do that. So I gotta send this. And then I gotta take, oh, I see. Well, this is part of my problem here. Okay, so I have to log in from here. I can't take a key from another location and expect this to work. That's part of it, I bet. I have to go here. So I have to still be in the app that's trying to log in. Still says invalid token. The signature key was not found. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have rewritten the way that calls, but I felt like it was. Invalid token. Bear error, invalid token. Null or empty. Auth starts with bear. It does. Auth header. Oh, we're not even getting to this. Because we're doing if is null header or not auth header starts with bear, but it does start with bear because it's in the key. Invalid token. Invalid underscore token. Oh, that's a different error. Oh, it is doing something different here. Generate JWT token. Oh, this one is using UTF-8. Oh. I'm so confused, man. What the heck? That's not what I expected to be. That's not right So maybe I do need to undo it. So it does all that stuff. The key is base 64, but apparently this is not. What if I just do that? Leave it alone as it was. I mean, I'm not a fan of that, but what if I do that and do a hot swap? And then we'll go back to my login, try this again. We'll take my goodies here, take it back to here. And then we go back to here, here. Control A, Control V. And I don't know what all that stuff is, but we're going to be happy with it. EY, sure, send. Nope, still doesn't like it. Even a complete rebuild, is that going to work? Well, at least it's in the same family as whatever that was, but I don't know why it's using UTF-8 if it's doing, oh, so this is UTF-8ing, and that was ASCII 2ing, and then this says it needs base 64ing. Why are we doing all this? So maybe I need to, okay, so I'm not worried about that yet. Let's get it to, we'll try this again. Log in. Send. Yeah, totally different language. Again. Copy that. Validate token. Now this all worked at one time. I know, I'm sorry, I'm not on the screen. So all this stuff worked at one point. Control A, Control V, double Q, yay. Then we send. All right. Why is key not found? Why is key not found? Because configuration.key. Okay, so how do I trigger this so that I can? All right, can I make it log? No, I can't make it log because I'm not calling. All right, maybe I can. Let's go to output. Is this doing anything? Password hash. What is? Pretty sure I'm not actually calling this. I don't know how. Yeah. Signature key not found. All right, so let's try this. I'm gonna go on. I'm running out of time. 5 o'clock, man. I got 10 minutes before I have to call it today. But we're gonna try for 10 more minutes. Just at least fix this and then maybe get back to my other thing quickly. Assuming I can figure this out quickly. Because this is something that seems like we're shouldn't be getting. But, all right. Why is this endpoint stating signature not found? And it is Druid key. Yeah, I am using a Druid key. Unless, no, configuration should not be. Because it's in. It's in my secrets. There it is. There's my base 64 key. Druid colon key. Capital J, capital K. Yep. Signature key not found. Key is stored under druid key in my secrets.json. Now, using coding UTF 8 bytes, make sure that the key is in plain text and properly formatted. Okay, so that's the problem. I can't use this, so it has to be base 64. So this is why I was able to use the ASCII2 thing. Okay. My key is base 64. To decode the base 64 encoded key into bytes. It's like, man, alright. Validate token. So we got auth header, got the empty header, then we got token, key string, configuration, key string. And then it's going to go down here and do status codes dot status internal server error. Signature key not found. Well, that's probably good that it's capturing that, but I already have that, so I obviously if it's not there, it's gonna it already does that on its own. I don't need to write the code for that. It's already doing that apparently. Decode the base 64 key, byte key. So this is all I need. So if I do what I was doing before, I take this, it's funny how I have to do that. See, it's just, I hate all the runaround, man. Key equals bar key, oh actually nope, byte. Key, and then no, go away. I don't want you. I'm not trying to chat GPT my chat GPT. Where'd it go? Thought they threw me out. I got all over the place now. Where am I? Just because I highlight something doesn't mean I need Copilot. Okay, we're gonna go there. Alright, so we're gonna test my key. My key is actually gonna come from this guy, which I don't think is actually, yeah, it's just doing it from straight from there. So we're just going to stick this in here. Let's go here. Fine. Let's plug this in here. Trying to get around that null or empty junk, right? All right. So we're going to do that. Now we've got the key. Now we're back on to what I was doing. Validation handler, DRIT security token handler. Oh. Let's put that back down here. And then we got symmetric key, and we're just going to stick key down here. Key? Nope. Lowercase. But that said, I have to go back here and do the same thing. Generate DRIT token, which is apparently decided to go with the UTF-8. So I am going to do this guy. So this stupid thing says 64 is the way to go, man. Everybody's doing base 64. You should be doing that. So I said, okay, I'm doing it, but you're making my life miserable. All right, you're making things hard. Stop it! You're killing me, man. You're killing me with all this nonsense. There's no. We're gonna go. So we got a key. Isn't encoding to have a base 64 option? Encoding dot base 64. No, it doesn't. I thought that I could have swore there was a base 64 option for that. Ugh. All right. I am going to be lazy again because I'm just going that route. It's not lazy, just making sure I get it right, right? So rewrite this so it also uses base 64 encoding. Pretty much going to be identical, right? So we're going to go claims equals new, blah, 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 and then we're going to go var base 64 configuration byte key. We're going to convert from base 64. Invalid operation. The DRIT key is not a valid. Ah, that's good. I'll take that. Symmetric. And now we're doing the symmetric key stuff, and then we're on to all the same being the same. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So I'll just take this stuff here, copy that back here, and we will pop it into there. Oops, don't want to do that way. Just plop it into there. This is adding a lot of lines, so whatever. I mean, it's not, just a lot of spacing. It's not that much more lines, I guess. It's pretty minimal. Just for funsies, let's do this. See if that reformat some stuff. It's kind of weird. Why did I do that? Oh, it's Oh, that is so weird. Why is it doing that? It's not reformatting itself. I don't like that. It makes me nervous. Maybe null here. Well, it shouldn't be. The root key is not a valid base64 string. Well, yeah, I get it. What if I just say null is allowed? Because it's going to error the same problem, right? Oops. Nope, doesn't like that. I don't understand why this is not formatting nicely. Why doesn't it want to format that nicely? Bizarre. All right, so we're going to take that down here. We got base64. Am I missing any parens? No. No, I think we're good. Public class, auth controller, and some other classes. It's fine. All right, let's rewrite. Let's reload this. And then we will try it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Right. Let's go to login, send. Now we're going to go copy this guy. Then we're going to go here, here, Control A, Control V, save, send. 200, okay, it's been chunked. Okay, I don't know what that means, but we're chunked now. Chunked. All right, so now, oh, well, here, I'll show you. Headers. Chunked. I don't know what that means exactly, but it does say it's a status of 200, so we passed our validation. Interestingly enough, it's not giving me very much, but it's built because it's been signed. So we're gonna go here now. Go back to my original app. Let's make sure this is all saved. I'm gonna have to check that in too. So what time is it? Oh, it's 5:04. I'm over my limit. One little test. One little test. If not, I'll be back on this on Monday, I guess. So we have to go Blazor app, UCL. Okay, so we are in the debugger, but we don't need this guy. And gotta stop. We're gonna let it run, but it'll just blow up. And then we're gonna hit login again. Fine. Go back into here. It's going to take me down back into my little tool here. Now it's all base 64. So if it's complaining about base 64 now, then something is wonky. But hey, I expect wonkiness because wonkiness seems to be the order of the day. Not sure what to expect on this, but we're going to go ahead. I want to see what the token is. I want to see what the token looks like here. Just feel like looking at it before it starts fiddling with it. Another period. I don't see any equal signs though. But before I do that, I am going to set this as my next step. Is it set? Where's that at? It used to be step 4 or 7. Well, okay, show next statement. Set next statement, here we I'm skipping that because I want to see what this does now that I've changed stuff. Might still not like it, but I want to see. Yeah, see, still not like it. I should be getting a more successful error, but what is the problem? Still same thing, right? .NET, got an error. Executing command .NET install. .NET install Microsoft.NET succeeded with. You can invoke the tool from this directory using the following command. Was successfully installed. Entry is added. Okay, so none of that is an error. What the heck? .NET local tool. What? 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 What is all that crap? Let's go to debug. I don't know what the heck that's showing me. How I end up on that. It's alright, it's the same. So we're gonna go here again. Still doesn't like it, obviously. Still gets malformed. But now we're all base 64, so if any issues are base 64 related, I don't know. So we got the padding back. I don't know why I dropped it. If that's a thing, we go here. Now we have our Druid token with padding on it. And still don't like it. All it says when that happens is that it's invalid. Security token formed exception. Just doesn't like my token. But now I know it works because I've actually taken the token and actually passed it in. I'm curious what my code would do. I'm not even getting to my validation, but I'm curious. The token that this is getting back, let's go look at it. You text visualizer, whatever. Go here. I'm going to take this token. And I just want to see what happens. I don't think this will work because I think it has to be coming from the same server, but I could be wrong. This is the token that it thinks it's sending. And it says that token is fine and dandy. It has no problem with that token. So as valid goes and working with base 64 goes, the Auth API has got no problem with it. But this Druid service here does not like my token. And it's base 64 encoded now. So now I have no idea what the problem is. It just doesn't want to read. Does not want to read my code. And obviously that's not going to do anything. I still think that's weird, but I don't know. I kind of stumped now. Again, I end my day being stumped on something new. At least it's something new. Instead of the same thing I was stumped on the last 3 days. Anyway, we'll go F10. All right, so all indicators are that this token is the token we want. This is my valid token. That is currently, I mean, it doesn't even need to be read, right? I mean, I'm not signing it. It's just, what is my Druid security token? It doesn't like my token. So I'm going to actually, let's read this. Control C. Getting, what is it? Tokens.security token malformed exception error in this line with this token ID wed. With this token ID fail. Can you believe it? I'm supposed to have an audition today. Why are there equals on the outside of this thing? I don't think it knew that these are supposed to be in there. I don't know why it's putting equals in there, to be honest. That little thing it did with the equals is kind of weird, but that's not a valid thing. I'm going to do something weird. Can I write that? No, I cannot. I don't know why it puts equals in there. It says something about padding. I don't know why you have to have padding on base 64, but whatever. It's probably not the problem, I think. I'm going to do his thing, though. I'm pretty sure that thing's writing the things wrong. Interestingly, I bet you the problem isn't that. I bet you it's reading the entire thing wrong. It's reading this entire line, including the token header. And it's writing it like that. Betcha. It's reading the entire token line. I don't know why it's reading that, but it is. It's like, I think when it wants a token, it wants the token. It doesn't want any of this other crap. And I have a feeling that's why it's blown up. It's like it doesn't know to pull everything out. When it says give me the token, don't give me the crap. Just give me the token. Token format. Ensure that the token does not have extra characters or incorrect format. Tokens are typically in 3 parts. Yeah, I already did that. And it should not have extra characters like blah, blah, blah at the end. Yeah, I'm taking those off. Trust me, those aren't going to be there anymore. I don't know why it needed to do that. Bearer prefix. When extracting the token from the authorization header, ensure you strip off the bearer prefix. Token extraction. Ensure you are correctly extracting the token from the authorization header. var auth header equals request.headers authorization. Well, phooey. I gotta stop, guys. Yes, this might be something, but no, I don't think. I mean, I'm not even doing any of this anymore. It's like it's trying to make me read. It's kind of combining my steps. I don't need to validate it or do any of that because I'm breaking it down other places. Token, substring, bearer, length, trim, key strings, configuration, null or empty, status code. Yeah, see, it's trying to do all the stuff I already did above because it's combining what I've done, but I don't need to do that. I just need the secured token button to work, man. I already have the validate token functioning. Inspect token content, debug the token. Check token for any encoding issues. Are extra characters, ensure it looks like a typical Druid token with the base 64 encoding, separated by periods. Debug the token. For debugging, you can manually check the structure of your token by splitting it into parts and verifying each part, for example. Ensure the Druid security token handler is properly instantiated and used to read and validate the token. If you are using read token, make sure you are handling any exceptions it might throw. By verifying the token format and ensuring correct handling, you should be able to resolve. If you still encounter issues, please provide additional details. Is there a way to have this be a little bit more, I don't know, explicit? I don't think it is. I mean, this is it, right? That's the error, exception thrown, blah. I don't think there's another way. Okay, so this has got to go. This thing, fixed padding, that's crap. I don't know what that was, but I'm taking it out. It doesn't have a problem with replacing bearer in the token. Well, I guess it wouldn't because it's just finding the word bearer. But I have a feeling this Druid security token thing is just not reading it correctly. Yeah, see, I feel like something is not reading it correctly. If I can validate the token, I send back the validation, and I send it back pretty much as this would send it back, so I almost don't need it. If it's not null here, I don't really need to worry about this token. So I know it can go, come back valid, post JSON token, response is successful, read from JSON async is valid false. So it's going to get back the information. Wait, return false, what? Return result is valid or false. Oh, okay, if it's successful, we're going to read this. Okay, so we should be fine. Yeah, that's all it's doing. It's validating it, and then we should be coming back here. If it says it's successful, the problem is, I think the problem is that it's just not reading it correctly, or I need to, it's not, like the read token is just not able to, I don't know. Let's call it, I'm calling it. Let's call it. It's Friday night. I'm going to do other stuff. I got an audition tonight, and I got to practice a couple more times before I head out later. And until next time, man.